Dear learners, now we will discuss entitled as conflict of interest under research or publication misconduct. Conflict of interest comprise those which may not be fully apparent and which may influence the judgment of author, reviewer and editors. Here, the conflict of interest exists when professional judgment concerning a primary interest such as patients' welfare or the validity of research may be influenced by a secondary interest such as financial gain or something like that. So, interest may be defined as a commitment, goal or value held by an individual or an institution. Example, research project to be completed, gaining status through promotion and recognition and protecting the environment. Two or more contradictory interests related to an activity of an individual or an institution. This is prescribed by the Office of Research Integrity, ORI, US Department of Health and Human Services. Conflict lies in the situation, not in any behavior or lack of behavior of the individual. Example can be cited as conflict between financial gain and meticulous competition and reporting of a research study, or between responsibilities of an investigator and as a treating physician for the same trial participant. Here conflict of interest occurring. Situations in which financial or other personal considerations may compromise and have the appearance of compromising an investigator's judgment in conducting or reporting research. It is made by Association of American Medical Colleges, AAMC, 1990. While document on fostering faculty and student awareness relating to integrity of research progress was published by the joint venture of National Academy of Science, National Academy of Engineering, Institute of Medicine, Committee on Science, Engineering and Public Policy, Panel on Scientific Responsibility and the Conduct of Research, NAS, 1992. A conflict of interest in research exists when the individual has interest in the outcome of the research that may lead to a personal advantage, and that might therefore in actuality or appearance compromise the integrity of the research, that is the integrity in scientific research. Or the conflicts can also exist as a result of personal relationship, academic competition and intellectual passion. Example, researcher who has, number one, a relative who works at the company whose product of the research is evaluating. Number two, a self-serving stake in the research result, that is potential promotion or career advancement based on outcomes. Third one, personal beliefs that are in direct conflict with the topic he or she is researching at present. Now, few types of typical conflicts of interest listed by Canadian political scientists Ken Kernaghan and John Langford, that is self-dealing. That means one works for government and use one's official position to secure a contract for a private consulting company one's own. Another instance is using one's government position to get a summer job for one's daughter. Then accepting benefit, bribery in one example, substantial gifts are another. For example, you are purchasing agent for your department and you accept a case of liquor from a major supplier. It can be simply said it is an accepting benefits. Then influence peddling. The professional solicits benefits in exchange for using her influence to unfairly advance the interest of the particular party. Then using employer's property for private advantage. Blatant and stealing office supplies for home use. Then might be a bit more subtle, say using software which is licensed to your employer for private consulting work of your own. In the first case, the employer's permission eliminates the conflict, while in the second it does not. Using confidential information. Working for a private client, you learn that the client is planning to buy land in your region. You quickly rush out and buy the land in your wife's name. So outside employment or moonlighting, business on the side that it is in direct competition with your employer. Then post-employment. Delay situation can be one in which a person who resigns for public or private employment and goes into business in the same area. Then honesty in research publication is required very much so as to avoid conflict of interest. So, a conflict of interest exists when professional judgment concerning a primary interest and may be influenced by a secondary interest. Perception of conflict of interest are as important as actual conflict of interest. It is necessary to adopt strict policies in order to prevent people with conflicts of interest from publishing and encouraging authors to conceal relevant interest and might therefore be counterproductive. Recommendation given by Wiley Best Practice Guidance on Publishing Ethics in 2014 is praiseworthy in this context. And number one is that members involved in the process of decision making regarding publication should declare their interests properly, that include journal editors, board members, staff, etc. Journals should put this information on their website and update them as and when required. If conflicts of interest emerges for a specific paper, then they must disclose how they manage such issues. Then policy to be adopted, a policy of complete disclosure, especially with respect of financial conflicts, recognizing the scientific merits when conducting a grant or manuscript evaluation. Editors should clearly explain what should be disclosed, including the period that which statements should cover. If there exists any doubt, editors should opt for greater disclosure from the author If authors state there are no conflicts of interest, editors should publish a confirmation of this effect. So, transparency, honesty relating to undertaking the research work, reviewing the literature, reporting and communicating research results are the prime importance. If authors state there are no conflicts of interest, editors should publish a confirmation of this effect. When editors, members or editorial boards and other editorial staff are presented with papers, then their interest impair their ability to make a fair and unbiased editorial decision. At the time, it is necessary that they should withdraw the discussion, decisions or suggestion that authors seek publication for a different journal. So therefore, conflict of authorship, conflict of interest in case of a publication is most important. Here publication misconduct to be avoided and a fair procedure and understanding and national standards and international standards to be followed so that we can avoid the conflict of interest. In case of conflict of interest, the other counterproductive areas are journal editors, board members and staffs who are involved with the decision about publication should declare their interest. Journals should consider publishing these in their website and updating them as and when required, as well as disclosing how conflict of interest were managed for specific papers also. Editors should clearly explain what should be disclosed, including the period that this statement should cover. Editors ask author to describe relevant funding, including purpose of funding, etc. Editors should publish author's conflict of interest whenever they are relevant or a statement of their absence. If there is a doubt, editors should opt in favor of greater disclosure. If authors state that there are no conflicts of interest, editors should publish a confirmation in this effect. Editors should manage peer reviewers' conflict of interest and invitation to review a manuscript that should be accompanied by a request for the reviewer to reveal any potential conflicts of interest and a request for the peer reviewer to disqualify or recuse themselves when these are relevant. When editors or member of boards and other editorial staff are presented with paper when their own interest may be perceived to impair their ability to make an unbiased editorial decision, they should withdraw the discussion, deputize decision or suggest that authors seek publication in different journal. So conflict of interest is an important aspect in case of research publication and it is an important aspect of publication misconduct.